Welcome to Happily Distracted. I'm Leyla. I put the HD in ADHD. Around here, distraction isn't the problem, it's the party. Welcome to Happily Distracted. I'm Leyla, and I have my wonderful sister Monya to join me. And,
Hello.
well, she says hi. And as you know, distractions aren't a problem, they're a party. So let's start with you, Monya. How are you happily distracted this week?
Starting with me, I don't think that's fair. Let's start with you. Let's start with you. I want to hear your distractions this week first.
Okay. Well, honestly, this week, because I do so much scrolling, I've been really happily distracted with scrolling now. I've been really thinking about the things that I scroll, and I follow a lot of people that I become very distracted with, right? And then I started thinking about some of the people that I follow. I follow Nara Smith. She's a trad wife. She does like everything so perfectly. And I was like, wow. And then I follow another family called Happily Ever After All, the Evans family. And they're like perfect, but I don't know, they're fun and they show really great moments. And I started thinking like, this isn't real life. So as I watch it, I started thinking if people compare themselves to the people that I follow, like, I started thinking I will never wake up and make my children, who are adults now, but if they have a cough, I'm not going to wake up and be like, today, because they speak like this, today I woke up, one of my children had a cough. So what I did was I made homemade cough drops from scratch.
Right.
So it was like, and I was thinking like, and all of a sudden I was saying
In
to
my
myself,
beautiful dress.
yes, and my apron and my perfectly done hair. And I started thinking in a weird way, like I didn't get like reactions, but I was like, okay, well, I basically would never do that. And I like watching it, but like I'm enjoying it. But at the same time, I'm like, well, guess what? That's not real life. That's not what I do.
Does it make you feel any, like, when you watch it, you say you enjoy it and you like it, and you're seeing something that is obviously like a curated, perfected version of motherhood. Does that make you feel, how does that make you feel? Because I don't watch any of this stuff.
Right. I know you know. So, I mean, it doesn't make me feel less than or any kind of way, but then I go and I read the comments because I'm big on comments. That's like most of my enjoyment is people's reactions. And as I'm reading it, and then even you start saying that people are like, wow, like I wish I could do that. I'm so busy. I don't even have a big house like that. You're a really good mom. Like you're incredible. I wish I had a mom like that. My mom wasn't like that. And then it started making me feel sad in a way because I started realizing that, I'm watching it as entertainment. I have a really good understanding that it's content, but then I realized a lot of people don't. And then I like watch these videos of these fathers who my kids wanted to have a race car. And then they show them building a race car. Literally, the father can build a race car. And he's got like this perfect garage and he's doing all these things.
Yeah.
And I'm so focused on like the process and then the end product. I'm like, that is so cool. And you see his family and like they're so happy. And they live in this like huge house now because they're making content. And then you start reading the comments and people are like, I never had a father like that. Or I wish I could be a father like. So I was like, wow. So here I am happily distracted on things that I enjoy. I like to see someone who literally can organize their refrigerator in color coded, or they have fun, or they have all the juice boxes like lined up a certain way, or like they never feed their kids anything with gluten or seed oil. Like I'm like, wow. Or I'll watch someone who's like, I wake up at 5 a.m. I meditate. Then from there, I write in my journal. After I write in my journal, I go outside and I do Tai Chi for 20 minutes. Then I get ready for work. I go into my office and I'm a CEO. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm thinking,
Right.
I'm like thinking I've set my alarm. It's gone off 10 times. I'm drinking a cup of coffee. I spilled my coffee. I'm headed to the gym. Like, and then I'm coming home and I'm rushing. And so I don't know. I just feel like I started kind of going down a rabbit hole of that. So
that rabbit hole to me is the same rabbit hole that like this whole lawsuit's about. That lawsuit that's against, I think it's Facebook and Google and those companies where they're saying, hey, you impacted children in this negative way. And now we have the research. Like at first, these people acted like, we're not doing anything on purpose, anything that happened, anxiety, depression that you receive. It's all just because of you. We're not actually causing it. Or if we're causing it, there's no way we can prevent it because we're not doing it intentionally. And I think after years have gone by and people have done the research and they've gotten information through discovery and all that, they determined that, in fact, there was some intent. And the intent is to draw you in, and then you start to like something, then you're going to see more of that. And there's no way you could say that this person who curated this version of their life, where they're a wife or whatever, intended for you to become anxious or upset or envious, and therefore led to depression or something in your life. There's no way to say that's what they intended. But I think the whole way you're fed, like if you like that trad wife, then you're going to see more trad wives, right? So then the fish
Mm.
bowl that you're living in is a fish bowl of, when you look on Instagram, of all these perfect wives and all these
Because they're
perfect dads. And
because
then
they're
what you're
controlling the
thinking,
algorithm.
maybe they control the algorithm. So what you may be thinking and feeling, and when you're seeing in the comments, is that people are thinking, well, my life is, I didn't have a mom like that. And I didn't have a dad
Right.
who made me things. And I see all these people who do. So that must mean that their lives, and they appear to be happy. So that must mean these things that happened or they're doing created happiness. I don't have happiness. That's why, because I didn't have those things, or I don't have those things. And then people just start to do a lot of comparisons. It's the comparison that they've always said, right? The neighbor thing. What did they used to say? They used to call it, keeping up with the
Keep up
Joneses.
with the Joneses.
Now it's just, now are we not only keeping up with the Joneses who actually do live next door, but you're keeping up with thousands of people who do not live in your neighborhood, in your
Right.
town. You don't know them, all of that. So it just amplifies the keeping up with the Joneses. And that
Right.
could
Because
be
that's all they're
destructive.
being fed and that's all they see.
Yeah. Well, and then it's just so many. I could keep up with one neighbor. I can keep up
Right.
with two neighbors. But can I keep up with thousands of quote unquote neighbors? Because that's what all these people become, right? And although they're
Right.
on your phone, they become your neighbors, your
Because that's your
friends, your
out right.
community.
It's your
This
algorithm. And
becomes your
right.
life. This becomes who you're, and if you don't have a way to actually have a touchstone of a real life that you're feeling, then the hours you're spending scrolling become your actual life,
Mm.
and that becomes your neighbors and the people that you are keeping up with and all of that. So I think that can be very destructive. I mean, I haven't had Facebook since 2016,
I
and I
know,
can
which
say
is why you
I
didn't
don't miss
argue with
it.
anybody.
Right.
I would
I'm not
literally
arguing with anybody
I
about
would
anything.
literally argue, like, with people, and
Yeah.
that's why I did go off Facebook, and it was great because I had a lot of unnecessary arguments with people that didn't make any sense, but, I mean, then I would get so angry, and then I would honestly because obviously everything that and the thing is, I didn't even mean to argue with people on Facebook. It's just that I tried to adopt the policy when I was on Facebook that I was only going to be on my own page and not go on other people's pages. But then sometimes other people's pages would pop up and then it would be about subject. And I would just be like, okay, I'll just make like one comment, which I clearly knew at that point when I made that comment that it was totally going to go into the wrong direction. And then I'd always go back and go, well, I don't usually comment on people's posts. I always comment on my own. And then like I would get angry and I'd be like, I can't stand that person. Like they're horrible. But I'm like, wow, they were my friend in high school. Like,
Right.
and then I realized, like, that I was having visceral reaction towards people, and that was like, okay,
Right.
and then I would tell people, "Well, don't why are you on my page? It's my page. I can put what I want." But then they were still going on my page, and people would make comments, and I'm like, I'm literally, and I always don't think I wasn't arguing with strangers, but I'm like, okay, this is really
In the end, you
unhealthy
are.
in a way,
Yeah.
100%, because I don't
You
see those
really are,
people
because
every
people
day.
who you don't see, that's right. They are
They don't live
strangers,
in my
which is,
life. They're not my family.
they're not your
Do you know
real
what I
friend. That's
mean?
why I kind of left. I mean, I 100% left because the 2016 election and all the disinformation that was being spread, and Mark Zuckerberg acting like he couldn't do anything about it, right? Like,
Right,
I'm
right,
basically God, but I can't do anything about this disinformation.
right.
It's
But make a
just
lot
going to
of
be
money.
spread. There's nothing I can do. So then I thought about it, and I really thought, Okay, Facebook is free, but is it free? It's not. It's costing me something. What is it costing you? And that's what people
Mm.
should examine in their lives. What is this thing that I brought into my life costing me?
This is why I have her on the show, ladies and gentlemen, because do you see how she puts things in an incredible perspective? In the meantime, I'm getting pissed off at Facebook, then grabbing my phone and being like, that motherfucker, I hate them. You know what? She did this and that and whatever. She's lucky I was, that kind of stuff. So that is why I've had to refrain.
Yeah, I really saw it as a situation where when I realized it was something free that I did not have to participate in, and what was I getting from it? And I was thinking, okay, well, I like it because I get to catch up with like friends who live far away or that I haven't been in communication with since college or since
Or
my
you could
youth
always
or
share
whatever.
with us that you and your husband are best friends and celebrate your anniversary. And then next week he has an affair
Oh,
and you're divorced, but that's a whole
that
other subject.
well, let me tell you something. The minute you post on Facebook that I'm best friend with my husband and I would like to
He's
tell my
my
best
best
friend,
friend.
right? As soon as you do that,
It's a
in a
curse.
couple of weeks, I'm going to see the divorce post.
Well,
So,
it's not even really a
you know,
curse. I can read between the lines. I
it's
don't
not a
want to,
curse. It's not a curse. It's just an indicator that something may be up. That's all.
my
That's all.
best
But going
friend.
back to it, really, for me, I realized first of all, it's just a farce that if you keep Facebook because you're saying it allows me to keep up with people that I normally don't see or don't
Right,
talk
right.
to, that's a farce. That's like keeping you in a prison, you know what I mean? For a
Because it's
very
made,
bad reason.
that's a made up
Because
construct. Like you have
it's
to
a
be on there to
made up.
keep in touch with people.
It's
Like
made up.
your core circle of friends are not your on Facebook. Like you literally, they're the
Right.
people
That's
you
not how you keep up
call.
with your core for there's not
Right.
one friend that I was like, oh, let me ask them if they want to go to dinner on Facebook. Like, I
Or
don't
like,
need to
Monya,
do
I
that.
really need some help. Let me, I'm only going to communicate
You're
with
going to
you.
go to Facebook to get in touch with
Monya, do
me.
you, mom, and
Yeah.
dad want to go to dinner? Okay, great. Yeah. Did you see the message I left on Facebook to ask?
Like, I would
Like,
never do anything with my friends if that was the case. But so it is a made up construct. That's a really good way of putting it, that the reason you have it is to keep up with people. And also, is it keeping up with people when you're just like scrolling and then randomly seeing stuff about their kids? It's more like I'm almost like being invasive. And for what reason? Like, I'm not going to talk to you. I haven't talked to you in 10 years. I'm probably not going to talk to you for another 10 years. But I liked that your kid won a baseball tournament. Like, I don't care. Like, honestly, it meant nothing to me. Anyway, so then in 2016 election, not only did I see that Mark Zuckerberg was a complete but
asshole.
I also noticed that I was having a visceral reaction to
Mm,
what certain people were saying. And
right.
I don't wanna you know what? If I do see you on the street, I wanna say hi and like you
You
and,
want, you want to be very
"How are your
kind.
kids?" Yes, I don't wanna
Right.
think, "Wow,
How was your clan meeting?
right.
Oh
I don't
my
wanna
God.
think,
How was that
"I don't
clan
know that
meeting
you care
last
about
Sunday?
democracy." Yeah. Like, I didn't want to do that, and I was starting to
No,
feel a
you're
lot of
really good
that,
at that.
and I was like, "I have control over this.
No, you're right. And I tell
I'm
you,
out."
yeah, she's out. And I love that because I did that and it was great. I mean, it was wonderful. So I just focused on like Instagram and TikTok. But it was but that was for like entertainment, right?
I did that too. That was my go-to,
I'll
and
never
then I
go off TikTok
realized
or Instagram,
I
people. What the, I
and
mean,
I
hello.
realized, for me, I did go off. I went off both of those things. I have very good reasons for doing so. I also went off because it is very addictive. It was very addictive for me. I was one of those people during the pandemic. I already had problems sleeping. So then I'm on TikTok and literally I'm scrolling so much that TikTok is sending me a message. You know that message that comes up that's like, "You've been scrolling without a break for 4 hours. Do you really want to keep?" That was a button that was actually there and I received on lots of occasions. So in the middle of the night when I'm laying in bed like this and I'm like, I gotta let this go. This is bad." So I've let it all go. Yeah.
Because I was always
When you
laying like
get
this.
tennis elbow from
And
scrolling,
I was like,
that's a
it was
sign.
like the way I would lay in the bed during the pandemic. And I also got it like when I felt like I had COVID because I spent like the whole week like this in the bed, like scrolling. But the problem is it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But,
It's
and that's why
terrible.
people send me videos or like, send you videos. And then it's like you go to one video and it's great. And then that video changes your algorithm. And then you start getting
Yes,
all the videos like that. So
they're gonna keep you there. They're gonna keep you
No,
there.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely true. But it's like,
Yeah, so, I mean, is it harmful? I mean, I don't know if that's even where you were going. You were just wondering if people do compare their lives to what they're seeing.
and like, and also like, there's a family called the Beverly Hills. I forgot their last name, but I mean, the house is perfect. She comes down, she has her closet with like Birkin bags and all these things. And I just want to tell people, but that's curated. Right? And I know it's curated, right? I mean, she's
Yeah.
dancing on her counter and she's like, I
Right.
and they do like pranks, like people who do pranks are like, I told my husband that I was, but it's all set up,
Right,
right?
it's
So it's
all set
all
up. Yeah.
very created. So like curated.
Yes.
It's creative curation. Now sometimes it's
It's
not even that
curated
creative.
and it's created. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's
created.
just
So
it's not reality because it's scripted. They are scripting even those moments that seem to be genuine.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so as I was like watching some of the people, I'm like, it's no longer genuine. At some
Right.
point, like, which for me, then it's like, let me move on because that's not entertaining. I wanna be entertained. So
Right.
then it's like, okay, let me move on from that. So it's like, then I go to, like, dance videos. But even those videos where I'm up at night trying to learn the crip walk, okay, and I wonder
Right.
how they can do that, but those people, they are dancers for a living. I am not.
They're dancers, they live in a house,
Their
they
camera is
dance, they
set
only
up
dance.
amazing. Yeah, they
Yes.
practice the routine. So, like,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna become a break dancer. And I've accepted that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I just feel like, and listen, I make videos, I love my videos. I make the ideas come to my head, I pull that camera up, and, and no matter what, my videos are curated because I have an idea, I put it up there, I take out
Right,
some
it's a yeah.
filler words, and things like
Yes.
that, and then boom, I go to your house, I have you tape something for me, I'm like, "Hey, I got this idea." So,
Yeah.
that's still curated or else, I mean, I'm not randomly just,
Everything. Yeah.
doing that, but I just think
Yes.
I started thinking about, like, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have
I
these things
know.
growing up
I
in the
know.
'80s, right? So, in terms of, like, the confidence, like, the self-confidence that you're building, I don't know what that would be like for a young girl who's looking at someone, it's like, "Get ready with me." First, I put on my eyeliner, and then I put my base, then I use this product and all those things, and the person's face, like, they come out, they look amazing, but I'm like,
Mhm.
who would do that every day?
Well, I think we can all see it if we have daughter. I have a daughter, you have a daughter, all my friends who have daughters, they can see it because the number of products that you're if you go into your child's bathroom. I redid my kid's bath recently, about a year or 2 ago, and I was cleaning out my daughter's side of the bathroom, and I swear to you, I had a bin of products. I mean, and it had to be thousands of dollars, like, honestly, and, what I mean, most of it's unused or empty, but mainly unused, and a lot of it, and I'm like, "Where do you even get this like, where are you being advertised this?" And it's on Instagram or TikTok there, "Use this product, go get this product, go get that," and so, I really do think young women are really influenced by it, but I just think that everyone's influenced by it, like, it's almost like you need to be taught. Remember when we were in school, when we were younger, when they used to teach about propaganda? I forgot
Yes, yes.
I think it was, like, in 8th grade and, like, in middle school, I remember, because they we read Animal Farm
Yes,
and
Piggy.
there was that whole yeah,
Poor
1984,
Piggy.
and so there was a
God rest
big
his soul.
there was
Piggy's soul.
there was a big section, of that curriculum that talked about propaganda. So you
Mhm.
learned about propaganda. I don't know if kids learn about propaganda now. I don't know how they're taught it. But you learn about it, and the reason you learn about it is because they need to teach you how to recognize it.
Mm.
And so although what we're seeing on social media is not propaganda by like a government agency,
Right, right.
it's still propaganda, right? It's still somebody trying to sell you something and they're saying something will happen. You will receive this. You will be happy. If you have this lipstick, you'll be beautiful. It's still
Or
propaganda. So, really learning how to recognize it, I think, is helpful to people.
right, because I think when you have the people that you follow and you see this incredibly curated content, then you actually believe that things that they sell are gonna give you that same outcome.
Yeah. And that's why if you go to your daughter's bathroom area, you'll see so many products. When in fact, you need like one lipstick, one eyeliner, and one, but you see thousands and thousands of products to make their skin good.
Well, this is
That
the worst
pisses
part of
me
that, but
off
that made me fucking angry, period.
because I'm
And
like,
I am dropping
I
the
pay
F-bomb
for
because
you to
I
go to a
pay you to use
dermatologist.
Accutane, everything, and then my daughter, I like, see what she would order. She's like, "Well, this was on TikTok and so and so used it and it cleared up their skin." I'm like, "Honey, that bitch be advertising products every 2 months."
Right.
I'm like, that there's no pharmaceutical grade anything in any of those. And then it would counteract what my daughter was doing with
What
the
the
doctor
dermatologist told
in
your
order
daughter
to
to do,
get her
yes.
skin where it was. And I was like, I am
Yes.
paying thousands of dollars to help your skin, and you just ordered a $20 product off of Instagram, and you're ruining it. I mean, it was actually so annoying. Or she'd be like, "This makes your eyelashes." I'm like, "Oh my gosh." But I think it's different too, because they could, like, if we ordered something when we were younger, we couldn't. You'd have to
Right,
mail
there's no way to
something
order
out.
anything. You had to mail
Yeah,
a
you couldn't.
check.
Right. I mean, these kids
They can
were
click. They click and they've ordered it.
they have iPhones. They're like 13 years old, and like my daughter spent more money on DoorDash than I did. Like I don't even like to spend that kind of money. Like, I'm
Yeah.
cheap, right? But like to
Right.
them, and then they would start door dashing like products, and I was like, this is like this has got to stop. Like this is
This is going
freaking
crazy.
ridiculous. I don't know. I think there's something about seeing those things and you checking yourself and asking yourself, like, are you having reactions to this, or are you feeling
Yeah.
less than, or is it changing your confidence because you didn't get your plastic surgery. Like, I love the plastic surgery ones. I love that stuff, but it's like we have to remember, like, that's for them. That's for the it's an
Right. Doesn't
individual
mean
choice.
you're
I
not
don't think,
beautiful
and it
because
doesn't
you're
mean
not
that
getting plastic surgery.
or that aging isn't. Well, I want everybody to know this. I'm going to age up. I'm a age
What
up.
does age up mean? What does age up
I don't know.
mean?
I don't know. Is there something called age up? I'm making it up.
Oh.
But
I
I
mean,
do
you're
plan
aging and you are going to do what?
look very good no matter what to the very end. Period. End of story. I'm gonna
I'm
Botox.
not.
I tell you that all the time.
We're gonna be on this side by side, and then people are gonna be like,
Yes.
"Wow, Layla never changed." But her sister got old.
And I'm gonna be like, "Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Check this out," right?
Like in the back of my mind, I think about it sometimes, like, "Oh, I wanna not have these lines here," or I wanna, I
I know
mean, like
you'll
I
call
hold my
me up, and
face.
then I don't know why you even asked me because I'm always like, I literally,
I'll hold my
um,
face,
yeah, happily
but
distracted.
I'm never gonna go
She
under the
literally
knife.
talks about it, and then she's like, and I'm like, "Great, I have the people. I'll show you who, whatever." And she's like, "Do you think I should?" I'm like, "I mean, if you ask me, if you want to, it's up to you." And then I don't know why she takes me through this rigmarole every like quarter, like every 90 days, because she's never gonna do it. Like, she's
I'm not
never
gonna do
gonna
it.
do it. Like, she
I'm
would
always
never
like,
be like,
"I want
"I got
better
Botox."
boobs. I want
She talked
I want my
about better
pretty
boobs,
I want my 25-year-old well, I didn't
and
have my
you're
first
never
child
gonna
till I was
have them.
33. I want my pre-33
I didn't
having
realize
my
how
first
old you were.
child boobs. Yeah, my
Look,
first child,
let's
33.
do
I
some
did
eight.
33,
Let's do
33,
ageism.
35, 37. That's how I had
Let's
my children.
let's be
And my
ageist.
boobs were beautiful until and back in the day, we called them boobs. Like, that was okay. I don't know. I think now we have to
You're
call them
getting
breasts or
canceled.
something. I'm gonna
Titties.
cancel
That
My breasts were gorgeous. They were, like, perfect, small, like, medium size, like, really good perky. And then after I had my first child and I breastfed because everyone's like, "You have to breastfeed," which I loved. I would never go back, but if you do it, don't do it.
like, we
Your
don't
business.
care. Your choice.
Yeah. So,
Your body, your
I
choice.
breastfed your body, your choice.
Your
I
body, your choice.
breastfed I breastfed my children, my first son, and then I remember going to the doctor and I was like, "So when are my boobs gonna go back to normal?" Because I thought, and she was like, "When you get a boob job." And I was like, "What are you talking about? You can't be telling me the truth right now. Like, this is it? This is how they're gonna look forever?"
When you were talking to me about it the other day, you're like, "So, if I just get," this is my sister, right? Like, let me give you an example. She's like, "Well, if I just get a lift, I don't want them bigger. I just want them lifted up." And I was like, "Well, that's stupid. If you're gonna do that, get implants." And she
But
was
I'm
like,
not gonna
"Well,
get a
that's not what
lift,
I want." And I was
and
like,
I'm
"Well,
also
then don't
not gonna
do
get
it."
implants. Yeah. Half of it's because I don't care enough,
No.
and the other half is because I don't wanna die. And I know that a lot of people don't die when they have surgery, but I don't wanna die for a surgery to get my boobs made better. Like, I just feel like that's ridiculous.
I will
Yeah.
die for it. She lived a, at my funeral, she lived a good life. She didn't die from cocaine. She said that ship sailed. She died because she was on the table.
I'll give the speech and I'll be like, "She died doing what she loved."
And she and she looked good doing it.
Do it.
Right. Hopefully it won't be in the middle of the surgery. It'll be after. At least the surgery will be completed.
You know those documentaries? They have those documentaries where, like, a very adventurous, cool person, they, say he's a surfer or he's a deep sea diver without what are they called? Like, deep divers? Anyway, the people
Without
who
support
do
systems.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. So that or,
free
like,
fallers. A free
free
falling.
climb yeah, and there was always, like, this amazing documentary where you follow the story of the person you know how it's ending, right?
Yeah.
You know how it's ending because of the how they're progressing in the documentary. So, like, in the beginning of the documentary,
Is the
they
person
have actual footage of the person and their family, and they're
right.
having
And then you're always
then
wondering, like, why are they not interviewing the person?
right.
Why is he not
Wait, why aren't
narrating
they
it?
asking him about that trip? Like, that's so weird. So at the end of it, they die, and you're, like, so sad because they were amazing, but they died really doing what they loved. So I'm, like, thinking about your documentary, and it's like you're not in it, you're not being interviewed, and at
Oh my
the
God.
end,
I
it's like
almost spit out my water.
you go into surgery, and then you die.
I'm like waving, like they're wheeling me in for my facelift. I'm like,
And then
when
afterwards
I come out of here, I'm gonna be a whole new person. Bye, you guys.
and then
And
all
that
of
was
us
they'll be like,
afterwards,
and
like
that was her last goodbye.
right, but she died doing what she loved.
Right. But then you should end that honestly, you should end that death documentary about me with me
Mhm.
like giving away my organs. Like be like, but she was so generous. So just
You're like, "And then she
make sure you
donated her
show
body
that
to
video
science."
of me like, yes. Yes, exactly. And then be
So she
like,
was a
and
good
whoever gets
person.
her titties, enjoy them.
She was she was
Double
superficial as
G's.
fuck, but
Yes, and I did not
she
even need to be
gave away her
influenced
heart.
because we had no social media then.
Right.
I just knew I was gonna get
Right.
big titties. That was it. Period. End of
You
story.
really didn't
Right?
have big breasts.
No,
You
and
didn't
then
have any you barely had breasts.
when I ran like a marathon, they were gone. And then I was like, wow, it'd be really good at 25 to get like a boob job. And I did. And then I had
Oh,
kids and like blew up and I was not a cute pregnant person. Oh, that's so
no.
let me just say this. To have social I'm glad that I didn't follow anybody who was like, from
Those
behind,
tiny
nobody
little
knew I
people.
was pregnant. Right?
Right.
Because that would be a terrible algorithm to have
Yeah.
because we
That
all
is
do
the statement,
pregnancy
though,
differently.
that means you're doing pregnancy well in our society, is when they
Oh, it's
say, "From
right.
behind, I can't even tell she's pregnant."
Oh, she was amazing when she was pregnant. The way she looked. Yeah, that's really true. That's actually not a nice thing to say.
It's not no, it isn't.
Because let me
It
tell you about
isn't because
motherfuckers would say,
most
I gained
people
80 pounds, 90 with my second. And let me tell you what motherfuckers would say to me. And this is why I'm taking a stand today for all you people who are pregnant and gain a lot of weight. Let me tell you something. I got you. I got your back. I
Yeah.
support you. Happily distracted is for you. But when people would say to me,
You have such a pretty face.
now that's wrong. A, I already know that. But B,
I
never
do not
met a
need your
yes,
help.
yes. I never met a mirror I don't like. By the way,
Mhm.
I'd self-deprecate, but there's a lot of truth to what I say when I do that. Um, but at the same time, I was like, I know what you're saying to me because I was like 205 pounds at
Right.
5'2".
I know
I
you're saying
gained
you're a big ass
80 with
fat
yeah.
pregnant lady.
And it was like I went from like working out all the time and it was weird. And I mean, I am glad I wasn't in this, I wasn't in an algorithm or a social media thing about like, because if you typed in women who do pregnancy well and I worked out, but I didn't even work out during the pregnancy. I couldn't. I had preeclampsia. It wasn't pretty. I had a 10-pound baby 3 weeks early, but that would have been terrible. That would have been terrible, right? That
Well,
I
what's
wasn't
funny
wearing
is you
jeans.
and Andrea had the big pregnant like, you guys both blew up during pregnancy. Did Andrea blow up during her I didn't. And so the funny part is people would say that to me. They would say, "Oh, out of the 3 girls, you did pregnancy the best."
Who fucking said that? Who
Mama
said that?
Birch.
Because I'd be like,
People did say that, though. People said that. They did. I'm just
the
saying that was the
pressure
time
I
in my
had on
life
myself.
when I was and we were all pregnant with the same with the same baby. No, like, we
We're
were all
all
pregnant.
That's weird.
We were all pregnant at the same time. Remember, for the last child? For you, your last child, Andrea's last child, and my second daughter. My second child, who is my daughter.
Yeah,
We
everybody's
were all pregnant at
tracking.
the same time.
People were like, yeah, we follow you.
And I looked good.
Oh, yeah. But what'd she say? She said, I look good. I look, No, that's, okay. So Monia's getting vain. See how you can rub up on your
No,
sister?
I'm not vain. I'm not vain. No, but I don't even know where we were going with this, but I'm not going to get plastic
That's why
surgery.
we're unhappily distracted.
You're going to get plastic surgery and you're going to look amazing. And that's awesome.
Well, I'm not going to look crazy because I don't think you should, because I don't think that you should try to look. I don't think that you should ever do something to make yourself look like you are 30 when you're not 30. I think you should just
Yeah, but
improve on
see,
where
the
you
thing is,
are.
I think it's how it ends up. I think you just got to be really careful because I don't think anyone goes into it saying, I need to look like a cat.
Have you been on social media with some of the people that I don't follow, but they come up in my algorithm and they get
Oh, they
like
want to look like
excessive?
cats.
Yeah, or it's like excessive.
Yeah, it's weird to me. Like, what happens if you're a beautiful person and then, like, I've seen it where you're getting plastic surgery, but you were beautiful, but now you're not beautiful. Now you're scary.
Well,
But
now
do
you have
they
to
think
really
they
love
look
how you
good?
look. I
Do
hope to
they
God
love
they
it?
do. I
Right.
hope so. And I would lie to them and tell
You're
them they
like,
look great.
oh, to God they do.
And I would
That's
not say,
hilarious.
I would never be like, what did you do? Like, I'd be like, you look so good because I would feel so bad about that the person fucked up their face. You know what I mean? And like, but people do that. People get influenced on, people who get a lot of plastic surgery, and now those people become experts. Like literally, there's experts who've gotten so much plastic surgery. They help you consult and figure out where you're going to get yours, right? So
Wow.
I'm just saying, it's like,
I mean, it's a
there's
rabbit
good.
hole. You know what I
It
mean?
is.
Social media is a rabbit hole. I think that that's what it comes down to. It's a rabbit hole, and it can be scary. It can be used for good. It can be used for evil.
But speaking, okay, so
But we have
speaking
to
of good and
protect
evil,
ourselves.
well, I was going to tell you this. I was going to
Yeah.
say, so it's one thing for me to like look at somebody doing arts and crafts, which I always admire because I hate arts and crafts. So I'm always amazed at people who can do them and they can do them with their children. I always was like, hey, that's not my talent, but like I'm energetic. I could run around. I could do stuff like that. Or just how people organize their closet and how organized they are, and everything was written down and all that. And being ADHD, I'm like, this is crazy. But it didn't make me feel less than. I was like, I don't know how they do that. But I think
Right.
about the fact that that's created, right? But what about those who you're watching and it's
Mhm.
created and it's bad behavior, like
Ah.
bad behavior.
Like the
So like,
Manosphere.
ugh,
Like people in the
the,
Manosphere.
the fucking manosphere.
That was a documentary that I enjoyed.
Mm,
It's on Netflix. Documentary on Netflix. I don't know who did it. It's
yeah.
a gentleman who's a documentarian. You got to look it up.
No, because I
Yeah.
saw it, but it's on
Yeah. So
Netflix.
I saw it too, and I think everybody should watch it, especially if you have young boys or men.
Mm,
You should watch it because you just need to see it exposed for what it is, right? So
yeah. What
yeah,
was the most
it's
so this talks about the
for
manosphere.
me most disturbing is
It's
what they say about
the,
women and how they treat
the,
women. It's the
describe it because
objectification of
people
women
haven't seen it.
was terrifying. Well, I mean, it's they focused on I think 2 or 3 main podcaster manosphere, and I guess the manosphere is it's people who project a very what they perceive to
What they
be
perceive to be
masculine,
right.
but it's also wrapped up in being a misogynist, and
And
it's
an
not just
asshole.
like I mean, really.
Terrible how
And
they
it's
treated
okay.
women.
And they say, "Be an asshole," because being an asshole makes you more masculine. It's a really weird and they're okay with that, and they like to talk down to women, and they like to say,
And the women
"You're
on there, it's like they're like
yeah, your
pieces of
expectations are
meat.
too high." And yeah, you're
And
pieces
they
of
tell
meat.
people who's pretty, who's not. It's literally let me
It's
tell you, I'd
bizarre.
like
But
I
the
would
thing that's weird about it is they wanna control women, and they want women to only be like one thing: skinny, big boobs,
and
blonde
these
hair.
motherfuckers, I wouldn't fuck them with a 10-foot pole. And this is me being like, I'm being like mean but I'm like, look, you insecure prick. You're not even pretty. You're not even cute. You're an insecure piece of shit. I don't know why, but then you're doing all this stuff. It's terrible behavior, and you are being rewarded with a lot of money.
But then they're telling young people, young
This
men,
is how
that they
they
should be this
what they
way,
should
and
emulate.
they should emulate, and they're also putting,
It's
so they're
very
saying that
curated, though.
women, it is, but they're saying women have to
Cars,
be
the
the certain way,
clothes.
and then they're saying for guys, like, you're only special if you have a certain car. You're only special if you have
So
a
they're
certain jawline. You have to have a certain jawline. You don't
so
have this
young. Yeah,
jawline, you're not special. You're not
so young,
attractive.
young males are being targeted as well.
Yes, they're being targeted. Yeah, for
Young
sure.
white mailmen. Young white male men are being targeted. No, that's a joke. Sorry, Erica. I'm Erica Kirk joke. Let's go with it. But no, young men in general, and
Yes.
it breaks my heart. They actually showed a couple people on this Manosphere documentary who were like trying to be influencers, which is actually so annoying because these people actually really do influence bad behavior, and they want to be like these Manosphere people, and literally, it was terrible. And he was like, "Well, look, you're not really that good looking, so this is what you got to do. You got to make a lot of money." And I'm like,
That's not true. None of that's true.
it broke the the empathy in me. Like, it made me so sad because I never want anyone to feel less than. Like, that is literally
And then you saw the young men that would go up to them and be like, "You're like my father figure. You're the person I look up to. We want to be just like you." And I'm like,
and they were
"You want to
yes,
be like
and they would
them?
like cheer.
They're rude and they're
Yeah,
mean. And if they treated your daughter or your mother like this, that'd be hard. Like, no,
they were
that's not
horrible human
appropriate."
beings. And then when they
Yeah.
would interview like their girlfriends, they'd be like, "No, I'm fine with it," like that. And then the one guy's girlfriend apparently never showed back up on the end of the documentary, so I guess she wasn't fine with it.
Well,
But
because you know what? I could tell on that one. I forgot who the guy is. You have to watch it because I could tell that that is not how the household is when
oh right,
cameras are not there.
because he again.
He tried to make it like, "She serves me, she brings me my drink," and you could see she was like, "What? Like, I do not serve you." First of all, anybody okay, so they watch the show for the 15 minutes where they're degrading women, telling women they're not attractive,
Punching
saying
somebody.
you're punching someone in the face,
Ugh.
doing all this weird stuff, but then what kind of life is that? Like, what's your actual day like? How could your day be if the partner you have, you're mistreating or you're telling her the only value she has is sexual in nature? And then she will only have value if her ass is only this big and her waist is this tiny. Like, is that that's not a relationship. So I don't know what you would be. So if you extrapolate that moment, the hour of their talk or whatever they're doing or whatever you listen to every day, if you extrapolate that into a life, it's not a life. There's no there's no life in which you could walk around acting like uh,
24 hours a day.
acting like that for 24 hours. Right.
Right,
Imagine
but
having a relationship with someone. I don't care who you are. I don't care about any of these people who try to say, I just read an article in the New York Times where there's a trend of people saying that women shouldn't vote. They shouldn't have the right to vote and that the vote should go to the man who's the head of the household.
okay, I just can't.
I
Like,
said,
that's
"What is
again,
this?
like,
That's crazy."
please don't let that come
Like,
across my
what
feed.
kind of right. I'm
Like, please
sorry,
don't.
but first of
But
all,
who thinks that way?
a lot of this I wanted to say, okay, the head of the household. I've been to lots of households. I grew up in a household. I have a household. And women are the heads of most households.
Yes.
I don't care. Even when we grew up in the 70s and people worked the husbands worked and the mom stayed home, and that was the majority of the families. The mom was still the head of the household. She was the boss. She was the one doing the budget. She was buying the groceries, taking care of the kids, organizing the life, planning Christmas.
Figuring everything out.
She was the head of the household. So if anyone thinks the head of the household should be the one to vote, it should be the woman. Like, if you think it should only be one person, then it should be the woman because she's the head of your household. When you show me a dad, and there probably are lots of them, who is doing carpool, figuring out schools,
Yeah.
doing the clothes, taking the kids to the doctor, working her job, full-time job, preparing food, doing all. You show me a dad who's doing all that, I'll call him the head of the household. But I'm not going to call you the head of the household because you're a male. That is silly.
Yeah, I think that's weird.
But taking away the right to vote based on your weird religious beliefs, that's cuckoo crazy. Okay?
For
First
Cocoa
of all,
Puffs.
if you in your family would like to take away the right to vote for your wife, and your family agrees, your wife agrees to that, and that's
And
your
it's
religious beliefs,
and it's consensual.
then she doesn't vote. People don't
I
vote all
just
the
don't
time.
remember
But
in
you
the
don't need to make it
Bible
a
where it's
law.
yeah, like I don't remember in the Bible where it was like, and Jesus came to the mountain of glory, and he said, "I declare on this mountain that women should not vote, only the head of the household."
Jesus never
So
said
it
that.
doesn't so that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. But I
Well,
also don't like it that if you have a religious belief, that's great. That is
yeah,
great for you.
mind your
But
business though.
but you don't need to change the laws for the rest of us. You take away my right to vote. That's
I
crazy.
I come out swinging. They don't want to see that. You don't want to take that away from me. Like
Right.
like, you don't want to take away from anybody, but you don't want to take that away
No.
from me.
No.
I'll get right back on Facebook.
Right.
I'll be like,
Facebook.
uh-huh. I knew you were like that. You were like that in high school. I knew you had some manosphere in you then. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. You know what I mean?
You had the manosphere in you when you were in high school. Yeah.
No, but
I just can't imagine a woman actually saying, and I've seen it. I mean, she looks like she's a hostage.
they're always like, I love when they sit like this. And the husband's like, we have decided in our family that, and the woman's like, and I'm like, girl, let it blink
It's always
twice.
not to be mean, but it's always some pukey guy. Like, you're like, dude, no one.
I know. And I'm like, you're not cute. I literally am like, I just hope she has an affair with the pool boy. Like, I wish things like that.
Imagine having daughters.
Affair with the pool boy? Oh.
No, not that. I do not want to imagine that. Okay, I did. I imagine. No, do you think?
No, I don't even have a pool, so.
Right. So that would be quite a leap. I'd be like, she had an affair with somebody else's pool boy.
Oh, God. But anyway, imagine having daughters and thinking like that.
And thinking that they shouldn't be allowed to vote.
I just think
why? What are you afraid of? That's the thing. What are you afraid of? That to me shows fear. If you don't think women should vote, you don't think minorities should, if you don't think someone should vote, it's because you're afraid that they're going to use their vote as power to do something that you're afraid of, which probably means your behavior is not good.
So wait, let's bring it back to the Okay, so let's think about something funny. I was just thinking, like, why don't you ask me? Oh, I can share with myself. If you were to ask me, like, hey, have you ever, like, curated something to make it better on the internet, or I don't know, with my videos and stuff? Like, well, I would say this. I like sometimes if I like to dance in a bikini to like, I like the bikini protest. You check out my videos on TikTok.
You would not catch me dead in a bikini anywhere, but yes. Okay, go ahead.
I like to I get flag bikinis of different countries that I like to represent and just support when they've been talked down upon or whatever. So it's called the bikini, it's a bikini protest. And sometimes I'll look at it and I'm like, oof. And I will just sometimes cut out a certain dance move. Like I'll cut it out because I'm like, ugh, I don't like how that looks or whatever. That's curated.
Yeah.
It is. It's curated. And and I know how to pose.
So then I watched that video and I'm like, Layla looks amazing in her bikini,
Damn,
not realizing that
does.
at some point
Layla was
she
not
didn't
going
look
to show you
great,
the part.
and she took that part out. Yeah.
I wasn't going
to. As long as it doesn't affect me. Listen, it doesn't. Again, I think the main thing is people.
Are you
need
affected
to
though
watch.
when I look that good?
No.
I'm like,
that's awesome. I'm happy for people.
What about my elbows?
I'm happy for people and their beautiful lives and how good they look in their bikinis and their beautiful faces and amazing hair. I'm happy for all of it. I'm happy for their kids who are perfect. I'm happy for it.
They all wear the same things. I know.
So it's just, I think that we have to teach ourselves as a society how to take in this information that we're seeing. And once we teach ourselves that if you're going to watch it for enjoyment, you have to be cognizant of the fact that is it impacting me in a way that is negative? And if it is, take a step back.
Take a step back and
then protect your kids. I wouldn't let my grandkids at this point, if I had any, I would
No.
say, please don't introduce them to social media until they are old enough and you have taught them what it is they're going to be exposing themselves to. And
Absolutely,
you've
because I
taught them how to deal with it.
absolutely, because,
They should teach that in schools.
yeah, and I would say I'm gonna tell this story as a way of how it would be curated, and then how it would not. Because I watch a lot of I love, like, there's certain families that they've adopted the children and just it's very happy, and I love that, right? And so I think about when I was younger, this is so random, but we went to a summer camp, and
Yeah.
I think about some of the people I follow, and they're like, "The kids went to camp and they made arts and crafts," and, like, that's all you see is the really cute camp story. And I and I wanna close this with a funny story of when I went to camp. I was about, what,
Mhm.
5 or 6 years? I was not 6. I had to be at least 5 to act like that.
Yeah,
And we
5. I
made
think you were 5. I think
yeah,
I
we
was
made
6 or yeah, I think
yeah,
I was 6.
they made, like, these really we made these beautiful decorative plants, and for some reason, we got to, like, dance around. I don't know if I don't know, but let me tell you something, this little girl stepped on my plant.
No, it was a snack. Mm-mm.
No, it
I thought it was a snack.
no, honey, that girl stepped on my plate.
Oh.
Like, and it was a plate that we had I remember we decorated these plates. You know my memory's perfect.
Okay, I don't remember that, but yes.
And and
I
I
know I was
never
there.
I know, and I remember I was so pissed about it, and I, bent down like this, and I
Oh,
bit the
that's
girl's
why.
and I bit her toe,
Toe.
and I was like, "This is the" and I didn't say this because I probably didn't have the words for it, but I wanted to say, "Bitch, that's the last time you step on anybody's decorative plate." I didn't say it like that. But I remember biting it, and then all of a sudden I looked at her, she was crying so hard, and I was like, "You
It's
stepped on my
so
plate."
ADHD.
She stepped on my plate. I'm not
Yeah.
making I'm not making excuses now for that bad behavior. But I
That's
remember that
crazy.
I remember this lady, like,
I
grabbed my
remember that I
arm.
got kicked out of camp for
She
it.
marched me, and she called my mom, and I was like, "What?" And then my sister got she got kicked out too.
That's the only thing that I remember of that, 'cause you're right, I wasn't there in that circle, 'cause I was in a
But
different
you got
group.
kicked out.
I just remember, like, well, why am I kicked out of camp? Like, I didn't bite anyone's toe, and I remember being, like, very calm. I didn't cry or whatever, I was like, "Whatever, I'll play with Layla at home now." But I remember thinking, "Why are they kicking me out of camp?"
I know, and I look back at that now, and I think if that was on video, that would not be curated content, but we would take that particular
That
situation,
would be on the internet, though.
it
It
would
would
be,
be on
but
social media.
right, but we'd
It
also
would be
public
posted.
as the
Yeah.
Layla sphere, but honestly, in a pot but you could take that content, and instead of
Mhm.
talking about me biting the girl's toe and you getting kicked out, all you would have is a picture of us in our cute outfits, and you'd say, "Summer camp," and
Really?
that would be the difference between curated reality and the actual reality. But, we're
Right.
gonna have to explore what your life was like growing up with me and
My
as your
core
sister.
memories.
Yes, your core memories, but honestly, like, just the differences. I
When
think
we do
that's
that, I wanna have an ADHD expert on because it's
really?
interesting because yes, because a lot of it is because of ADHD, a lot of your behavior and things that happened, and it would be cool to hear an expert explain,
Sort of
like, this is what
explain.
that brain was doing and thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know what I was thinking
So
when
we
I bit
have some
her.
explanations for the behavior.
I'm learning them now at 54. So anyway,
Right,
well,
right, right.
ladies and gentlemen, happily distracted audience, family, we're going to wrap this up, but we want you to remember that what you see online, you never need to compare yourself. You don't need to strive to have all your juice boxes organized. And you don't need your husband to build a castle in the backyard for the kids all before 3 o'clock. It's curated. It's curated. It's content. It's a business. It's not real life. Just be you. That's all we want. See you next time. That concludes Happily Distracted. Don't forget, leave a comment. Let me know how you're distracted or if anything that you want to talk about. Let's do it. Let's do our fun bye. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Bye.
Bye. That's it for Happily Distracted. I'm Layla. I put the HD in ADHD. Hit subscribe and come party with me next time.
Resonate.